Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Doc and Queenie Facebook Live. Hey, Queenie.
Hey, Doc, how are you on this happy Monday?
I'm happy the sun is shining. It's getting warmer.
I know. And actually, what I was noticing today, I was on another call earlier today. The sun is shifting. I can feel it going back the other direction. So we have gone from where it goes in the winter, to now all of a sudden it's shifting, and I gauge everything by the sunshine on my patio. So I am super duper happy.
Awesome. That is awesome. Yes, I have also noticed, and I see that when the sun sets, it's not setting at 4:30 or 4:45. It's pushing 5:30. I'm trying to think the last time I was outside when I noticed, but
Well, not
yeah.
only that, but I've been noticing the morning. I usually wake up at 5 or 6 ish, and so all of a sudden, especially in the summer, when it's literally light at 5, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this. And so it's still 7 ish, 6:30 ish, like that. But at least at 6 o'clock, it's not pitch dark anymore. It's getting a little lighter.
Yes, that's exciting.
I know. And of course, I'm always thinking in terms of your gardening. Isn't that the coolest thing ever that now you're able to have gardening opportunity, more sunshine for all the things that you plant? How much I was noticing on one of your, I think it was a reel actually, when you showed the timer, you have to have 12 hours of sunlight per plant situation when you're doing seedlings.
Yes, 12 to
Okay.
13 hours. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was, because when you posted that, I thought, wow, I actually didn't realize it was that much.
Yeah, it's at the beginning stages, to help them grow a little bit quickly, a little faster.
Uh-huh.
So, but yeah, typical plants once they mature and things, full sun is considered a minimum of 6 hours, sometimes 6 to 8 hours of sunshine.
Wow.
Um, partial sun, partial shade. I mean, it depends on how you phrase that. Is 4 to 6, and then of course full shade is they sit there in the shade. So
Wow. Yeah, that really is super fun. But when I was noticing your reel, that's when I thought 12 hours. And you actually set a timer to keep the grow lamp on. And I was like, wow.
yeah, yeah, I usually set the grow lamp, throughout the night, so I don't have to, worry about it or fool around with it during the day. So, yes, if you were to drive by my house, you would see one of the lights in the windows. Like, why don't they turn off their lights?
Yeah, seriously. Because they can't, they're growing stuff.
So, it's I'm drawing a blank.
Monday.
Monday, yes, Martin Luther King Day,
Yes, absolutely.
which is very cool. And a lot of people are off. I know the banks are closed, and
Yep.
actually we had hardware down. We need to go to the hardware store this morning, and that was closed.
Yep.
And yeah, so one of my favorite coffee shops was closed, so I was upset about that.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly. And I think it's one of those things, it's wonderful. Post offices, banks, and all that, of course, but it's wonderful for the commemoration piece
Right.
and the equality piece. We are all in this together, my friends. And to have his message of peace and unity really is a very cool thing. And there's a lot of parades and commemorations throughout the country, actually. And it's very fun to see that. And I always, of course, keep my globe close by as far as the remembering that we are.
Yep.
We really are. We're all in this together. What happens in one area, you can't just go, oh, well, it just happened to them. It happens to all of us. And I really do. I feel that Martin Luther King brought that home.
Have you ever had the opportunity to listen to any of his sermons?
Absolutely. Oh, yes, absolutely.
Or speeches, I
Yes,
mean, they're
absolutely.
phenomenal. They are phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. And it's
Um,
wonderful that we have those historically to be able to refer to, as a matter of fact, because he was so ahead of his time. Oh my gosh. And so absolutely. I think it's a beautiful message for sure.
yes, definitely. So, did you see the question that I posted on our little group yesterday? I think it was yesterday.
I think you did it. I do think you did it yesterday, as a matter of fact. So absolutely. For those of us, they who weren't listening or seeing it yesterday, what did you post? And then I'll take a look at it as we go back to our pages.
Happy high noon, ladies. Yes, hi Debbie Miller, welcome.
Yep.
It was basically talking about what do you do to attract attention to your
Yes.
business.
Hmm.
So, what do you do to attract? Do you attract attention to your business, Queenie, or is there a set? I know you like structure and patterns and that kind of thing. Is there a certain pattern that you do to say, "Hey, I'm out here," without saying, "Hey, I'm out here"?
Absolutely. And for me, I went to social media classes back in 2007, 8, right when I started my company and with Kangen Water business. And I attended as many social media classes as possible because I knew very little about the topic. And I realized to promote my business, and of course, back then we were networking in person mostly, but because of my social media posting, I still had clients that I had never met in person before and that I still have not met in person. And as I tell people, I was Zooming before it was cool and different FaceTimes and different strategies, if you will. I was taught back in the 2007, 8, 9 social media day to get yourself out there all the time. And it doesn't always have to be about business. So, of course, my brain is going, how do you do that? And so back then, what would happen if you sent your friends a public birthday message? And I thought, hmm. Now, of course, I usually would send a text or a messenger thing. And they said, what would happen if you sent it on social media on their Facebook page? And I actually hadn't thought of that. Well, I found, and even when I get birthday messages, it's just such a cool thing that somebody took the time to say happy birthday on social media. Plus, my bigger brain is always going, oh my gosh, if Susie Cusey sends me a birthday message and Billy Joe doesn't know who she is yet, they can connect just from my birthday wishes on my page. So I thought, well, I'll just make that piece public and open so they can communicate with each other. So I have been doing birthday messages for years, obviously to say happy birthday to my friends, but bigger than that, to give an opportunity for commingling, if you will, so that they could connect with people they hadn't met yet. And then the other thing that I have also found, because it was suggested, is to change your profile picture and your timeline picture occasionally. And for me, I don't change my profile picture often, just because I don't want that to get confusing. But I do use the same picture throughout my platforms, not necessarily the same backgrounds. And then I change my timeline banners occasionally, not as often as my profile, not as seldom as my profile pictures. What do you actually do for exposure? I mean, the answer I think is your reels, but what do you do for exposure on your company pages, Doc, or personal
Well,
pages too?
I kind of do the same thing that you do.
Yep.
I'm not so consistent with wishing everybody a happy birthday,
Okay.
because of course for me the busier I get, the harder it is to keep my consistency because I've got a lot going on.
Yep.
But I tried to post different things. Instagram is a biggie, and even the Instagram reel that I had yesterday, it has really nothing to do with my business. It's I always try to do something unique, and this year we, as you know, and this year we bought a unique chair that actually goes into my husband's office, which is originally we called it the Starbucks room. It is a fire engine red. I guess you could say it's fire engine red. I'm actually in here right now. Um, Room. I had a purple couch. I had chairs that had different colored designs, and then we converted it to the office, but we kept the red. And I thought, let's get a cow print chair. I mean, why not? So if that doesn't attract attention, I don't know what will. But no, it's just doing fun stuff. It's doing fun things on Instagram and TikTok are the ones where I go outside of the box. The business piece, actually my business is fun anyways. I try to keep that a little more focused on the gardening on YouTube, and of course LinkedIn, Facebook. I kind of do a combination of everything. So, like it's the social media piece, which is a biggie.
Think about the, I guess you would say, postings that we do. You probably have a business page. For those of you watching with us now, or certainly on the replay, you probably have a business page on Facebook. Do you have a company page on LinkedIn? And then within that topic, do you always post about your company, about your business? And one of the things that I help with during my posting parties for LinkedIn is a poll. And to actually take a poll on LinkedIn, it's very easy to do. You just create it like you would a normal post on LinkedIn. Now, Facebook is a little trickier. They have changed their poll options now. So, of course, go to YouTube. How do I create a poll on Facebook? And most of the time, the response is you create your poll on your business page. So that can be done, or your group page, but not on your personal page as much anymore. I don't think it's available. But regardless of how that looks, if you do a poll not related to your company, I have found, first of all, all platforms want you to stay on their platform most often. And if you actually create the poll, it causes people to think, especially if you're going to request a response, comment in the comment section why you said that, or comment here why you did that, or comment there something else. And so I have found that if you create a poll, it actually gives you more buzz. Doc, you are great actually at the polls as far as what would you grow, what would you this. And I actually did a when do you put your Christmas stuff up? When do you put your Christmas stuff down? Has nothing to do with my company, but I got great votes, great response, and great views.
I'm thinking about doing a poll about the weather,
There you go. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Yes, like you, like exactly like what you said. I do a lot around the gardening, but to me, it's super easy. And it also helps me see where people are at, but also those polls of like, what kind of weather do you like? What's your favorite dessert or whatever? Those keep the buzz. And it's amazing whether it's a poll or, um, we've talked about this before on Instagram. A 15-second reel on sawdust had 53.7 thousand views. I don't get it. I will probably never get it. It was on Facebook and Instagram. It just shows you how you can attract attention um, with stuff that's not well, it is related, but with crazy stuff or just different. Take a little twist. Yeah, yeah.
I find it amazing. And the social media skills, the social media trainers, the social media experts, all of those things, every time I go to a different event online or certainly in the day in person, I always glean a bit and think, I might not be able to do all of it, but I maybe could do one or two things.
Right. Yes. And there's a lot of social media coaches out there.
Oh yeah.
And the good ones understand that, because it is a lot to absorb and learn, because everything is changing so quickly. Look at the differences we've seen even with Doc and Queenie, even in the past 6 months or the past year, since we started, really.
Yes.
So it's one step at a time, like you say, or one piece, and get that down to where it's you've got it. Of course, it's not perfect, but you get it to where it's manageable, and then you learn the next piece, and that's actually what I'm doing right now with I'm getting ready to convert some of my reels to YouTube shorts. And that in itself is a whole different process, because of course the platforms don't talk to each other, nor do they like each other unless they're owned, by the same person or corporation or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be jumping through a whole bunch of hoops in order to cross pollinate the platforms, so we'll see what happens with that one.
Wow. Cross pollinate is one of my favorites because it's not just one direction. For me, it's kind of like people can walk through their lives with rose colored glasses, good for you, or with blinders on. They don't want to see anything else that's happening on the side. I personally choose to do like the whole view of everything, because not only do I not want to miss something, but what if that specific piece or message is exactly what God has in store for me, and I was too busy tunnel visioning to actually pay attention to it? So I love the fact that you decide this platform is by golly going to talk to this one because I'm going to make it happen. I love that you do that.
Well, I'm always trying something new, right? So what is on our wheel today, Queenie?
Oh my gosh, I love the wheel. I've been using this in so many groups. It's
I
seriously
know you have.
fun.
We'll call you the
The
wheel
wheel
queen,
master.
the wheel master. There you go.
I love that so much because honestly, it has been a blast. All right, what is our name? Doc and Queenie. There we go. All right, let me know when you can see the wheel, por favor. Can you see it?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes,
Okay,
in
no,
my mind. Yes, I can see it.
good. I just wanted to make sure that it stops all the way, and we'll know what our topic is for today. Wow, funny. All right. So technically, this means the fact that we put Doc and Queenie on here separately. This means for me, what is the topic that is a big piece that I'm seeing right now. And for me, and Doc, I know that with your clientele, we talked about this earlier at one of my other events. And what happens if you choose not to grow? What happens if your circle stays small? What happens if you choose not to make changes yet? And how would that work for you? So think in terms of what did you do 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even last year? And one of the questions I have asked in some of my groups is, what are you most proud of that you accomplished in 2022 that you're able to bring forward in 2023? Because what happens if you choose not to grow, you choose not to change? I don't do this, I don't do that, don't do something. That for me is a stop sign. And if you choose to put up that stop sign, is your 2023 December going to look just like your 2022 December did? And what do you think about that, Doc? Because you are one of the largest changers I've ever seen. Your central industry and your central passion as far as naturopathy and growing organic, green, not eating food through a window, all of those things are congruent. But you are the evolution piece as far as a little seedling in a pot, then a bigger pot, then a bigger pot, and now a greenhouse the size of Kansas City. Your change has been huge.
No, I of course, yes, I am one that's not, um, I'm not comfortable doing the same thing over and over. For me, it feels like you're stuck.
Yes.
But there's a difference if you're not growing. I think the stuck piece, well, the stuck and the not growing kind of go together. If you are, like you were saying, blinders on, you're not looking either way, because in any business, any of us do. There's always something that you can do, whether you're creative or not, whether you're a social person or not. I mean, there's always options. Um, yeah, for me, I'm not one to this has evolved into the greenhouse. The greenhouse was a big goal, but it also had a purpose behind it. With I can, not many people build a greenhouse, so that's going to get absorbed into my business, and I'm going to help people. If they want to build a greenhouse, I can help them with that. And now I'm on a new learning curve of how to grow in a greenhouse. It's a lot different than sticking a plant outside and watering it. I've got humidity to worry about, and temperatures to worry about, and space, and yeah. So I don't know if I answered your question. I kind of was
A
all over.
million percent. And that's why I say you didn't stay stuck, and your learning curve, even at you're at the top of your profession, in my opinion, because just like you said, not many people have accomplished a greenhouse yet. And so since you have, you're that much farther ahead than many other people. And so that for me is an example of not staying in one spot. And what is that going to look like for next year when you're in December 2023? I wish I would have this, I wish I would have that. You're not going to have to say that because you have accomplished the topics that you wish you would have.
Yes. Yeah. And and I think a big piece with people not moving forward and not growing, it is between your ears. I mean,
Yes.
that's half the battle. That's, I say half the battle. That's probably three-quarters of the battle.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like you have taught, success, you didn't fall uphill or you didn't, ta-da, arrive and you're on top of the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Your 15 years of success, it started from day one. No, it's owning your own business, regardless of what it is, whether you're part of a big corporation or if you're like me, your own solo entrepreneur. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to be consistent. It's hard to do the same things day after day. It's hard to reach out when maybe things aren't going the way you thought, but it's that punt and pivot. It's that attracting attention, even if it's a cow chair or a poll, LinkedIn, or spin the wheel, or there's so many. We have so many options at our fingertips compared to even 5 years ago, compared to 3 years ago, compared and look at the way we grew up going through business and all of that. Everything is now more virtual than face to face, so that can be a challenge if that's the way you see it. I don't, challenge could be negative or positive. I always look at it as a positive. And you and I are lifelong learners too, and that's a
Oh my
different.
gosh. Yes.
I think
I
that's,
just thought about that when you said that, Doc. Lifelong learner is a great hashtag.
yeah.
Thank you, Kevin.
And if maybe if you don't want to learn and you're stuck, you're not growing, then maybe that's a sign to yourself that maybe it's time to, I don't, get out, change. Well, if you're not going to change, maybe it's time to stop. Why, what is it? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Yep.
I mean, that is true.
And
So,
when you mentioned that, Doc, as far as the growth piece and the success journey, those of us at the top of the mountain didn't fall here. It's
right.
back to that same thing. I'm not to the tip top part. I love being up the mountain a lot higher than I was 15 years ago, but there's a zillion more pinnacles that I can reach before I am finished, I hope. And I think it's back to that success journey.
Yes. And successful people, and this might be a tip to people that have never thought about it. If you look around at successful people, whether it's business or something else, they always give back and are always serving and helping others.
Yeah, that's a beautiful
If
point.
they aren't, eventually they will tumble down the mountain. I mean, because it'll come back to bite you. But
That's a
it's
perfect point.
it's giving back and serving others in some way. And people would be like, well, I don't have anything to give back.
Oh,
You know, even as something, and we've talked about this also, even if it's you're in the grocery store and you're friendly to the checker, I'm or hold the door for somebody. It's that servant mindset.
yeah. I was out the other day actually, and a lady was struggling to get the door open. All I did was grab the handle and say, I got it. That's all. You would have thought I had given her $1,000,000. She said, that is the nicest thing that's happened to me today. And of course, my brain is going, yikes.
Yeah.
If that's the nicest thing, that is kind of a problem. One thing I was thinking about when you were mentioning that, and it's all about success between your ears, let's say. With April 15th coming up, and I think this year it might be the 18th, but don't quote me, as far as taxes being due in the United States, income tax, then think about a lot of people measure their success by their W-2, their W-9, their 1099, whatever their tax situation is. And isn't that an interesting thing? And a lot of times people say, oh my gosh, my 1099 is not what I wanted, or my W-2 is not what I wanted. And I always think in terms of you, my friend, are the only one who can change that, in my opinion. And so if your tax statement document taxes filing is not where you want it, you are the only one who can change that. And that for me is such a big statement. And I think a lot of people hesitate on that one and go, what? And I mean that with all my heart. If that is how you measure success, by your income, your monetary, your money into your household, that's fine. That's wonderful. I mean, that's how we're wired: house payment, car payment, gas payment, egg payment, whatever we're doing these days. But it's back to that same drill. How do you measure success? And if it's because of your 1099, then, and you don't like what that looks like, change it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what else to add to that because I think you got it. And Lisa said learnaholics. Yes.
Yeah.
And she is a fellow. I guess we can't say fellow.
Lifelong learner. Yeah.
A sister of hashtag lifelong learner.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that really does make a difference, because some people, they're wired to measure success by the income piece. And sometimes, and think about this from entrepreneurship, you start your business here, you're probably not going to be in the same spot 5, 10, 15, 20 years from that point. So hopefully your income will be on an upward trajectory, which is cool. If it is not, the first thing I would do when I compare this tax statement to that tax statement, what changed, what was different, what got better, what didn't get better, whatever those things look like, that's up to the person, in my opinion, to be able to change that. And so I'm never finished, which is cool. And even when I do my water workshops, that's what I talk about is, if you are not where you want to be yet, let's get you there. How do we do that?
Right. Oh, exactly. So before we go, because as usual, Queenie,
Oh
we're
my
almost
gosh. Here we are again.
Is there anything that you would like to attract attention to? Like anything new in the world of Queenie?
In the world of Queenie, oh my gosh. Well, the good news is, or shall we say gooder, that'll make Lisa's head
Good
explode.
English.
I was going to say, I did not get that from powerthesaurus.org. The good news is I actually get to facilitate a posting party on the third Friday night of every month. And this is hosted by Live Creatively and one of my amazing friends, Denise Vargas. She is a superstar leader in a lot of different communities I'm involved with. And I'm thrilled to do this. And Live Creatively is hosting. It's Friday night at 6 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock Eastern. And it's open to absolutely everyone. And we'd love to have you. So stay tuned to the Doc and Queenie community group page. And right underneath this video, once Denise has all of her logos, she's so good with Canva, she's going to make a fabulous posting party page. And so once that is up and running, I will put that right under this video. What about you, Doc? I know you've got a lot going on.
Sounds fantastic. I'm a couple of weeks away from a few ebooks.
Oh my
I'm transitioning my business to virtual, some of it to virtual.
Uh-huh.
So I am super excited about that. And then
you said plural. You've got several ebooks that you're doing?
Yeah, I've got 2 right now in the works. And then I have a devotional called Mighty Morning Moments that will be coming out here in the next month or so. So in addition to everything else.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. I hate to use this triple entendre in your case, but there ain't no grass growing under your feet, sister.
Nope, no grass, and that's okay.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing.
Well, I will sign us out here for everybody and thank everyone, whether you were with us live or on the replay. Thank you for joining us at Doc and Queenie Facebook Live at High Noon. We're here every Monday, and I hope everyone has a blessed and fantastic week. Hopefully your weather, I'm thinking our weather will warm up a little bit. See, my hands are disappearing. We will do well. To find Queenie out on social media, you can look for Kathy Weaver KC, and her website is kathyweaverkc.com. For myself, it's Kitchen Garden Expert and kitchengardenexpert.com. Until next time, everybody, take care, and we will see you later. Thank you, Queenie.
Thank you, Doc. Bye for now. Thanks for joining us. Bye now.